Hey everyone, I'm iShiny, a pro Apex Legends player, and I wanted to show you all some professional level Kings Canyon Pathfinder ziplines. Adding these to your artillery will help you on your grind Apex Predator by opening up creative rotations that you never thought were possible.
That was actually pog as fuck, not gonna lie.
So in the southwest corner of artillery, you're going to want to aim your zipline at this cliff so that the pole on the end is sticking up. If it is not sticking up, you'll be slammed into the wall and fall back into artillery. This zipline can be achieved from multiple angles, not just the one shown in the video. Once you've gotten into the out of bounds area, the entire mountain is traversable. So you can head to the area above the west artillery tunnel, you can go to Watchtower, or you can head east up and over the mountain and land on either side. Now if you're stuck on the southeast side of artillery and you're looking for a less contested way in, there's a zip for that. This one can also be achieved from multiple angles. You just either want the pole to be sticking up on the end, or you want to get the zip line all the way to the wall behind the cliff, like so. Once again, when you're in the out of bounds area, you pretty much have access to going anywhere on either side of the mountain. Specific to this zip line, you'll have just enough time to get above the artillery wall, allowing you to siege and land on a team holding there. Southwest of artillery, there's actually a tricky zipline that will get you onto the artillery mountain. The zipline has to attach inside of the leaves to the right of the trunk of this tree. I have the most success while I'm adjacent to this rock, and if I aim my crosshair at the spot I want the zipline to attach to. If your zip is attached anywhere onto the trunk of the tree, you will not be launched onto the mountain. I think this is arguably the trickiest one that you will see in this video, and will take a tiny bit of practice until you really get the spot locked down. This zipline's pretty easy. You just aim your zipline at this cliff while you're on the hydro dam side of the mountain. This will allow you to get onto the mountain between hydro dam and cage. It's not too complicated. You cannot actually traverse south from here on the mountain. You don't have enough out of bounds timer to get anywhere. So it's just for getting up and over this mountain.
We've got 30 seconds to get to the next ring. If you go down, I'm not carrying you.
Now if you're on the cage side of this mountain and you want to get over to hydro dam, you can shoot a zip to this bracket that is connected to cage. When you get to the top of the zip, you want to aim at this metal piece, launch forward, grab onto it, and then you can jump to the mountain from there. There's a little bit of an invisible wall, so you're going to have to slide jump forward and strafe to the left, and this will allow you to get over to hydro dam. Now these ziplines aren't completely unknown, but they still fit the category. Once you are on the east side of bunker and you want to get up and over to the west side, you can aim your ziplines at these little antennas at the top of the entrances. These will take you to the out of bounds area, which will allow you to either traverse west. If you want to, you can actually hit parkours and get all the way to Apex Sign on the north, or you can drop off on the south into the Golden Sands. If it works on the east side, it also works on the west side. If you're at the west bunker entrance, you can aim up at the antennas and launch yourself into the out of bounds areas. If you go north from here, you won't actually be able to get to the apex sign unless you have movement abilities like Pathfinder or Loba. However, you can still head east to the other side of bunker or south to Golden Sands.
We've got 30 seconds to get to the next ring. If you go down, I'm not.
If you're at the west bunker entrance and you head north from there, there's a plateau that you can parkour up to. Once you're up there, you can shoot this zip out and climb up onto this cliff. Once you're on this cliff, you can siege the team on Apex Sign or take Apex Sign for yourself. If you are really good at parkouring, there is a parkour up and over this mountain that goes east, and you can siege the team on the house on the hill, or take the house for yourself. This zipline doesn't actually take you to an out-of-bounds spot, but I think it's a really useful zip to know. In the bones choke, you zip up to this bone, and then you can slide jump from this bone to this bone, which is a really good place to rat, or to set traps with your entire team. If you are playing ranked or into competitive play, there's a zone that actually ends under this bone in this choke, and this becomes a really good endgame spot that teams like to hold. Now that the balloon that used to let you go up and over the mountain and onto this bone has been nerfed, this might be the only method to get up here. This zipline lets you get from bridges to God Spot. You have to be pretty wide and far back to get an angle of this cliff where you need the zipline to attach to, otherwise the zipline will attach to the tree. Once you are on this mountain, you are able to siege the team that is on God Spot and then take the spot from them, or you can just rotate over the mountain if there is nobody here. Now if you're a little tight for space, think 5th zone, you need to be on the west side of this mountain, then take note of this spot on the tree that you can attach a zipline to. It's very finicky and pretty specific, as it'll launch you directly to the spot that you need to parkour onto to get onto this mountain. But from there, it's really similar to the previous zip, where you can just climb the mountain and have access to God Spot from here. Now crazy enough, if you're in God Spot and you want to go to the east side of this mountain, you can actually throw a zip to the top of this mountain as well. It's a very specific spot that you have to land your zip on, but once you are on the mountain, then you can go up and over and land on the bridges side. You cannot actually traverse south from here. There's not enough out of bounds timer to get up and over the mountain to mark it. This is a very versatile zipline. If you go south from farms and throw a zip to the top of this tree, from there it will launch you onto this mountain, from which you can go west or east along the mountain and land on either side, cage side or farm side, letting you bypass a lot of chokes.
Warning. Movement in progress.
Similar to the rotation that lets you get from cage to hydrogem, you can also attach a zipline to this bracket that is on the north side of the cage. You can attach it to the wire or the bracket itself, and it'll launch you on top of this mountain that is between cage and farm. This is really similar to the last zipline because it gets you to the exact same place. What's really good to know is that this entire mountain is actually parkourable, so you can traverse to the west, you can traverse to the east, and so you can be really creative with the way that your team rotates along this mountain. Now for this zipline, you're going to want to aim at the champion banners west of Capacitor, and it will allow you to get onto this mountain, from which you can parkour to the top and have perfect LOS of any team that is on the spine. So you can siege them, or if there's no team there, then you can actually just jump onto the spine itself. So if you're north of farm, you can shoot a zip on the left side of the top of this tree, and if you take the zip, it'll launch you onto this mountain. Once you are on this mountain, you can actually parkour pretty far to the south. However, you can't get anywhere too meaningful because the mountain is very rigid and difficult to parkour. However, it gives you access to either side of this mountain, letting you bypass that east to west choke. Now this zip is pretty specific to being on this plateau and being held in the choke south of you while you need to go to the south. But if you zip to the top of that tree from the lower part of the plateau, you can get to the out of bounds and parkour to the very top of this mountain and land on a very unsuspecting team on the other side. So that wraps up all of the zip lines for this video. I will be producing more content for YouTube, including my archive of hiding spots, as well as the only masterclass you'll ever need to watch to climb the rank ladder, so keep an eye out for that. And you can always catch me live streaming rank games, pro scrims, and tournaments at twitch.tv/iShiny.